with Michelle, and she gets to meet his family. What were your thoughts about like how his family reacted to Michelle? What did you think about and just his mom in general? Like it was so interesting to see his mom because we've seen like I think a little bit of her, but we haven't really got to see a lot of her. I feel like we've heard much more of her. So what were your thoughts around sort of what their reaction was and his brother's reaction to Michelle?
Yeah, okay, so really good question. So, um, Matt's mom kind of reminded me of Peter's mom, Barb.
Yes. Yes.
She first of all, did you catch the scene where she was just randomly crying?
Yes, and it's funny because I
Yeah.
kept being like, why am I having a flashback? And it wasn't until I
Yeah.
saw people sharing pictures of good old Barb that I was like,
Yeah,
oh, how could I forget? You know?
exactly. Yeah, so okay, so I have a few opinions about her. I don't like how she discouraged Matt from committing. I feel
Hmm.
like Matt's commitment issues are rooted in his upbringing. I mean, he clearly has some sort of like anxious attachment in his relationships, and just seeing how his mom just sort of like discouraged him from committing to either of these women was really disheartening because you can tell that his issues throughout the season were rooted in that. Were rooted in, this like little voice in his mind telling him that he couldn't commit, that he wasn't worthy, that he couldn't be the man that these women wanted him to be. But he's perfectly capable of it. He just, I guess, is traumatized by what his mom
Hmm.
went through, and his mom is clearly very traumatized by what she went through. But I just don't think it helps. I don't think it helps him to have all these negative thoughts that are going to shape his perception of himself and his perception of himself in relationships.
Hmm. No, I agree.
Um,
I think it's fine for them to kind of caution them and be like, you don't have to propose because I think there's now that like expectation on the show, whereas before it
right.
was like you could do that. Now it's like you got to do it. So I mean, I think it'd be one thing if she'd said, don't feel obligated to do that, but the way she was like, love might not be enough to him ultimately
Yeah,
was totally a different way to take it, and I think leaned into all of those insecurities he has in a way he didn't need,
exactly.
instead of making him feel like he could really do what he felt like was right for him,
Yep,
you know?
absolutely. That was my thought. Did not like how she phrased that at all. um,
When she said it, I was like, did that just happen? So,
yeah, yeah, poor Matt. Now it makes sense why he was just so hesitant to commit throughout the whole season. It all makes sense now. They saved the truth for
mhm.
last. They saved his
They did.
mom for last, and like she was really just you could tell from his upbringing that that was the reason why he had so much trouble committing. But I did like his brother. His brother was really amusing with all of his questions, and um, he I tweeted this. I'm pretty sure he's got to be a Scorpio. I mean, if he just came across as like such a Scorpio, like grilling Rachel and like Michelle and like trying to like see if they were really in it for him and not just to be famous on the show. Like you can tell that was on his mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I loved him questioning them. He was just so stoic about it and
Yeah.
so serious. It was like I've been assigned this duty and I'm going to do it and do it right.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like so serious. But he seemed like a nice guy. He just I don't know, he seems such a different person than Matt,
Exactly.
Like they just seem so different. And I didn't get a chance to. I did notice I was clicking around on Matt's Instagram and he had tagged his brother in a post, and so then I went to his brother's profile.
Mhm.
And his brother has like a SoundCloud link, so I think he's like I don't know if he's a like a musician of some
That's
sort.
cool.
So I did not get a chance to listen yet, but that's sort of the next step is that I want to check out what John's up to on SoundCloud. So
Well, I did check that out too.